A freezing night, a broken child, and a choice that changed everything. He thought she needed money, but what she said next left him speechless. Don't need charity, just work, no tears, no begging, just quiet strength. What happened after that moment will restore your faith in humanity. Watch till the end, because this little girl didn't just change his life, changed his heart forever. Asterisk. The sun burned low over the wide Texas plains, turning the sky into fire and gold as dust rolled slowly across the long dirt road leading to Caldwell Ranch, a place known for its size, its wealth, and its owner, a man who trusted no one. His name was Harrison Caldwell, a tall, aging rancher with a face carved by years of hard work and harder choices. People in nearby towns spoke his name with respect, but never warmth, because Harrison had built his empire alone and intended to keep it that way. That evening, as he rode his horse back toward the main gate, something unusual caught his attention. A small figure standing near the fence, still and unmoving, like she did not belong to the world around her, slowed his horse, narrowing his eyes as he approached. That figure was a little girl, no older than 10, thin as a shadow, wearing worn-out clothes that hung loosely on her small frame. Her shoes were mismatched and her hair messy, but her posture was straight and her gaze steady. Harrison stopped a few feet away and looked down at her. "What are you doing here?" he asked, his voice rough and sharp. The girl did not step back. She did not look afraid. "My name is Emma," she said quietly. Harrison frowned. That did not answer his question. "This is private land," he said. "Go back to town." Emma shook her head slowly. "I'm not here for charity," she said. The words struck him unexpectedly. He asked, "Don't need food. I don't need money," she said, her voice calm but firm. "I just need work." Harrison stared at her for a moment as if trying to understand what he had just heard. "Work," he repeated. "Sir," she said, let out a dry laugh, shaking his head. "You are a child. You can't work here. This isn't a place for games." Emma did not move. "I can clean, I can carry, I can learn," she said. "I just need a chance." Her words were simple, but there was something behind them, something heavy, something real. Harrison felt a strange discomfort he could not explain. He asked finally, "Why do you need work?" Emma hesitated for the first time, her eyes flickering just slightly. "I have no one," she said. The wind passed between them, carrying silence. Harrison shifted in his saddle, looking away for a moment before back at her. "Where are your parents?" he asked. "Gone." She said just one word, but it carried the weight of everything she had lost. Harrison felt something tighten in his chest, but he pushed it aside. "There are places for kids like you, shelters," he said. Emma shook her head again. "They don't let you stay long, and they don't care if you want to do something more." She said, studied her more closely, now the determination in her eyes, the way she stood without begging, without pleading. She was not asking for help, she was demanding a chance, and that unsettled him. Most people who came to his ranch came with empty hands and softer voice, but not here. "You think you can handle ranch work?" he asked. "Don't think," she said. I know there was no arrogance in her tone, just quiet certainty. Harrison looked toward the ranch, then back at her. "You will quit in a day?" He said. "No, sir," she replied, sighed, rubbing his jaw, as if fighting with himself. Finally, he gestured toward the gate. "Come on," he said. Emma did not smile. She simply nodded and followed as they entered the ranch. The workers nearby glanced over, surprised to see the rancher bringing in a child. Harrison dismounted and pointed toward the barn. "You start there," he said. "You clean stalls." Emma nodded again and walked toward the barn without hesitation. Harrison watched her go. Something unfamiliar, stirring inside him. He told himself it was nothing, just another mistake he would correct in a day, but deep down, he knew something had already changed, and he did not yet understand what days passed slower than usual for Harrison Caldwell, though nothing on the ranch had changed except for one small detail. Mash worked from sunrise to sunset without complaint, without slowing, without asking for anything more than what she had been given. Workers began to notice she carried buckets heavier than her size should allow. She cleaned stalls with care. She listened when spoken to and learned faster than anyone expected. But what surprised them most was not her effort, it was her silence. She did not laugh, she did not play, she did not act like a child, worked like someone who could not afford to fail. Harrison watched from a distance at first, keeping his emotions locked away behind years of discipline, but every day he found himself looking toward the barn, more often checking gongstering. Evening, as the sky darkened and the air cooled, he walked into the barn and found Emma sitting on a hay bale, her hands dirty, her face tired. For the first time she looked like a child. He stood there quietly for a moment before speaking. Do you work so hard?" he asked. Emma looked up at him. "Because I have to," she said. "You are safe here," he replied. "You can slow down." Emma shook her head. "Safe doesn't last," she said. Her words hit him harder than he expected. Stepped closer, his voice softer now. "How told you that?" "No one," she said. "I learned." Ed sat down across from her, something he had not done for anyone in "You're still me," he said. Emma hesitated, then spoke slowly. "After my parents died, I stayed with people who said they would help," she said. "But they didn't want me. They just didn't want to say it out loud." Looked down at her hand. "So I stopped waiting for help," she continued. "I decided if I wanted to stay anywhere, I had to earn it." Harrison felt a deep ache in his chest, one he had buried long ago. "You don't have to earn a place here," he said quietly. Emma looked at him, her eyes searching gear. "You sure?" she asked. He'd paused for the first time in years. He did not have a quick answer. Then he nodded. He said. Emma studied him for a moment, then gave a small nod. The next morning something changed, not in the work, not in the ranch, but in Harrison. Began to speak more to Emma, asking questions, teaching her things, showing her parts of the ranch he had never shared with anyone, and slowly, without realizing it, he began to see something he had not seen in years. A future that did not feel empty. Weeks turned into months. Emma grew stronger, healthier, her eyes brighter, and the ranch itself seemed different, less cold, less silent. One evening, as the sun set once again over the wide Texas plains, Harrison stood beside Emma near the fence where they had first met. "You remember what you said to me that day?" he asked Emma. "No, Daddy said I don't need charity, just work," she replied. Harrison smiled slightly. "You were wrong," he said. Emma looked at him confused. "Sadie was," he said, placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. "You didn't need charity," he continued, "but you did need someone who cared." Emma said nothing, but her eyes softened. "And maybe," he added quietly, "so did I." The wind moved across the land, carrying with it something new, not loneliness, not silence, but something stronger, something that neither of them had expected to find. A place not earned through struggle, but given through trust. And for the first time in years, Harrison Caldwell was no longer just a rancher, was something more reigned. Emma was no longer just surviving, she was finally home.